I'm going to be switching over from being a reseller and YouTuber to just being a YouTuber. I am, in a nutshell, quitting reselling for now in terms of the actual process of doing it. It is because of my physical pain stuff and a couple other things that I'll talk about. Um, I think three things that I want to say. One, I'm not quitting reselling because reselling is crashing and burning. Don't be alarmed. There's no reason why you should look at this and wonder if you should be reselling, wondering if the sky is falling, the sky is not falling. Yes, reselling grows more difficult over time, but I do not mean to imply that you can't make a decent living doing reselling. Two, the channel is not going away. We are not breaking up, and I'm still going to put out reselling content, which I will talk about. Um, and also, I don't want to give you the impression that if you are a full time reseller over time, you will wind up necessarily in a position like this where you will be physically impaired in some way, or you're not going to. There is a risk of winding up with a chronic pain condition or overuse syndrome or whatever you want to call it if you're not taking care of your body and your health, which I will also talk about over the course of this video. But if you're a reseller, that is not a sentence to a life of pain and suffering and eventual burnout. None of those things are true for you necessarily. They are true for me, the situation that I find myself in. It's just simply too painful. And there are workarounds, there are ways that I could manage to stick the landing with reselling long term, even in the light of making progress with my physical symptoms. I could hire people, I could streamline stuff, I could find alternative ways and means. I just don't want to. It's primarily just it hurts. It really hurts at this point. And the thought of diving straight back into doing full-time reselling fills me with a feeling of terror. I just have no enthusiasm to do that just because it's taken such a physical toll on me. Or I should say, I have taken such a physical toll on me because this problem precedes reselling, but reselling I associate it mentally with pain, and I've never found a way to really do it properly without hurting myself. But also, this life that I have thrifted, I guess, this life that I've built as it currently stands, I'm not really that willing to fight that hard for it. I'm kind of bored, I'm kind of burned out. I feel like I'm treading water. I live in a really, really expensive place. I live in San Diego, and it's such a struggle even to break even. It takes so much work just to get to a point where you're not hemorrhaging money, and it's really tough to save anything. So I am planning to move. My current plan is to become a digital nomad, which was a phrase that was unfamiliar to me until last year-ish. The idea is you work from your laptop and you travel from country to country on tourist visas, hanging out for a while, working in cafes, doing your work on the internet, and then bouncing around. This idea has just become more and more appealing to me over the course of time because I really want to do it. So I'm not just running away from reselling, I'm running towards this idea. I already have the infrastructure built up with my 2 YouTube channels and also the Menswear Manifesto, which I intend to update and probably update more frequently as I go along, to be fully autonomous and independent and to be able to make my own money. So I won't be married to a particular job. I won't be at risk of losing my job, which is a situation that a lot of digital nomads find themselves in. So I will be fully autonomous and I'll be able to very easily, I think, or relatively easily, clear that bar of breaking even and then quite a bit. So I'll be able to save money because the cost of living in certain countries is so low. It's definitely a heavy decision. Like, my guts are churning a little bit. It's tough to look at something that you've done for this long and something that you staked such an identity on and just walk away from it. And for better or for worse, this is something that I'm used to doing. I did stand-up comedy for 8 years and I walked. And I don't know that I'm permanently walking on reselling because it's a great fallback. If this doesn't work out, I can bounce back here and get back up and running with some kind of reselling pretty quickly. So there may be a spot for the actual process of reselling in the future. But I feel like in terms of this channel and in terms of its value proposition to you, I will still be in a position where I can do market research, look at stuff on eBay, watch YouTube, learn about clothing and trends and stuff like that. And at least from my perspective, I feel like that's my best value proposition, or that's like my best contribution to the reselling community, or to you as a viewer and reseller. I feel like that's where I'm most useful anyway, and that's been the stuff that's been most celebrated a lot of the time. Stuff like the Menswear Manifesto, which I will still be in a position to provide to you. So I think just refocusing on that, I hope that it's a win-win. I hope that that kind of content will help you actually make more money than just the talking head stuff of listening to me opinionate about reselling or doing the haul videos and stuff. And also, I'll still be uploading on Bookpilled. So the victory scenario, the ideal scenario, is I go somewhere with a really low cost of living and I'll make enough money doing the nice, physically not nearly as taxing parts of this job that I've made for myself, and be able to have a relatively comfortable, exciting, relaxing life that will be easier on my body, because I've noticed when I'm being passive, when I'm working at the reselling too much, just going out to thrift stores and coming back and listing and then making the YouTube videos, then sitting in a chair reading a book and laying down and not really moving as much as I should be, the pain is inescapable. When I'm out in the world and I'm engaged and I'm walking around and being a tourist, the pain always seems to fade into the background. I think it's just a general mobility thing. I think this makes sense on all fronts for me. I feel it's what I both need and want to do currently. In terms of the physical therapy stuff, which is probably what you were more interested in. Anyway, it's going pretty well, making progress. I still am in quite a bit of pain, quite a bit of the time, but I am seeing progress, and my PT is seeing progress on certain fronts. So I'm hoping that I can get to the point where the pain will be resolved enough that it's not going to be this big impediment in my life, which it could still be if I'm sitting at a laptop. Even if I'm in a foreign country, it doesn't necessarily make a huge difference. So there's no escaping the fact that work is going to hurt on some level. But I would like there to be this other countervailing set of benefits, I guess. I'm just excited to do it. I'm excited to do it, and I'm not excited about continuing to resell in this extremely expensive apartment. It'll be sad to go. I have some pretty close friends here. I have family here. I will miss them. It will be hard to say goodbye. But I intend to do this for a little bit, really, until I get burned out on it, until I get sick of it, or until it stops making sense. I would guess probably around a year. I am feeling better. So, and I have noticed that doing YouTube videos does not hurt as much as it did before. So I will be able to upload more content more frequently. So you're not going to go for a month at a time without hearing from me on this channel. Still be uploading on Bookpilled. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.